I'm fine, thank you.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Salatu wassalamu ala Rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Amma ba'd. Assalamu alaikum. So I received a text message today, earlier, a couple of days ago as well. The text message says, Salam Shaykh. As promised, here is the itinerary for tomorrow, inshallah. Let me know if you have any questions. Text message goes on to say, time 7:30 to 8:15. Venue 7 p.m., inshallah. We want the tone of this talk to be serious. A wake-up call. Continue gardening through trials. Lecture notes and points. Now, everything in this text message, or nothing in this text message so far, is problematic. It's no issue, it's disrespectful, it's fine. But I just want to share with you what was given me. It says, keep fear of Allah, subhanahu wa ta'ala, with you. Jahannam, remembering death. Tazkiyah never ends. Continuous introspection. Think of each trial as a way to get closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Constantly regroup yourself and see if you're at where you're supposed to be. Holding yourself accountable. Coping with the fact that you've changed and leaving the ways of your past. Maintaining the right intentions. No promises on a steak request with a praying emoji. All right, this is you're supposed to hook me up with a steak, huh? A steak dinner. He said, whatever you need, Sheikh, I got you. I'm with him. So Jahannam, the fire of hell, we seek Allah's protection and refuge from that horrid place. Death, changes, trials, tribulations, moving forward your past. Right now, right here, I'm not going to speak on any of those things. Not one on the list, most of them. Not even one. Not even one. But instead, standing at this podium, I'm going to speak to you, brothers and sisters, about something that has nothing to do with death. Nothing to do with the fire of hell, nothing with paradise, Jannah, nothing to do with a trial or tribulation, etc. It doesn't even pertain to religion or spirituality or faith. But instead, I'm going to lecture you initially and essentially on something worldly, something secular, something which is oftentimes a means of distracting you, preoccupying you, and taking your focus off something that's supposed to be more serious. And that thing that I'm going to lecture you on and talk to you about is sports. The religion of this country. Sports. The faith of this and most colleges and universities. This professor, this scientist, this prize winner, Pulitzer Prize winner, this patented invention, most people know the famous athletes. And then after the athletes may come an actor or an actress. And then we have in the same or similar tier a musician. And then perhaps a famous politician. And of course, someone of great controversy. He graduated from this school. This riot, this protest was the beginning of the end for them to stop, for the ceasefire, to raise the consciousness of the American people of what was happening thousands of miles away in Indochina, etc. If you study the history of college universities, but the actual intellectual, smart people, the students, the graduates, the alumni, and the professors that just stick to scholastics and intellectual pursuits oftentimes are overshadowed. That's a fact. So, the history, culture of the athletes, of the jock, the man or the woman, the great athlete, how many millions of dollars, donations and sponsors and pledges and funding is this athlete going to bring to the school? Much more than this thinker, or this philosopher, or this patented person, or this author. That's the reality of the United States. So, guys, what are the main sports here in this country? The sports that make the most money. What sporting event is the most globally publicized? Broadcast. What's the big money is?
Super Bowl.
Soccer, not in this country. Football. Why is it called football, but in most cases with your hand? Anybody know? Why is it called football? Because you kick it good, such as when? When do you kick the football? Punting, kicking off. But that's not why it's called football. Football has its origins in rugby. Rugby has its origin in the medieval times, ancient England. And many sports were played upon horseback, such as polo and other types of sports that had military connections. This is a strategic sport to learn how to take cavalry charge or defense. So rugby was a sport that was played on foot. That's the true origin of the word football. Most people think that it pertains to it. It's deeper than that. All right, now here we talk about football. The Super Bowl, having a 20-second commercial on the Super Bowl costs you how much? Just 20 seconds for your product, your drink, your diet, soft drink, invention. How much does it cost? Anybody know? How much? $3 million for 20 seconds. How much does the performer, the rapper, the singer, the R&B artist, the pop, do they make off of a Super Bowl performance? Anybody know? $100 million. Anybody else? Anybody else? Wrong. They make nothing. They pay to perform. Do you know how much they pay to perform? I'm not going to give you the number of the figure, but it's a great sum. And that is because the money that I'm going to spend performing is a trifle to the money that I'm going to make in popularity and notoriety, tours, etc. It's a big, huge business. That's just one sport. All right? We mentioned soccer, we mentioned football. What do we have in the United States? Quickly, guys. Basketball. You can't go to a Muslim community, regardless of the race, the demographic, second, third generation. My parents migrated, I'm born and raised, except that the Muslim youth love basketball. That is a fact. The headbands, socks, the shorts, the shoes. Muslim youth, they love basketball more than any other sport that I've seen of the different communities that I've been to. All right, what else do we have? Baseball. Baseball is actually the American pastime. Baseball is the predecessor of many American pedigree sports. The World Series. What else do we have? Quickly, hockey. Originated where? Or Canada. Somewhere cold, for sure. We're going to have someone that has a lot of ice on those lakes and rivers. All right, what else besides hockey? Obviously, this is New Jersey. We have an infamous and a famous team called the what? New Jersey Devils, huh? The Shell team. Why are they called the New Jersey Devils? You know? I'll give you a prize if you answer the question correctly. It has nothing to do with a devil. Everybody know? Nah, not your talk. The face that you have looks like you know the answer.
It's a mythical creature that...
A mythical creature called the what?
New Jersey Devil.
The New Jersey Devil, like Bigfoot, like Sasquatch, etc. After the talk, I'll give you your prize, inshallah. You want to say that, Tom?
No, it's good.
All right, not too many people actually know that. All right, hockey, what other sports do we have here in the United States? Track and field. Running, sprinting, the big gold medals. Everybody loves the excitement of the track and field. And a great amount of American history is found in track and field. All right, come on, guys, we got to get the ball rolling. We have 30 minutes. Swimming, Olympic swimming. Everybody loves to swim. It's good for you. It's healthy. That's a part of the Olympics. Many great American swimmers. All right, what else?
Boxing.
Boxing. How can we forget the science? Everybody loves boxer. There was a time in which the boxer that represented America, was heralded as the champion of American culture and civilization. And indeed, he died in an utterly shameful state. You do the research on this boxer's name and who he defeated for the cause. And he was utterly betrayed and humiliated at the time of death. The history of boxing. All right, pugilism. What else? Many sports here that we love here in this country. Tennis, the U.S. Open. Can't forget that. What else? Golf. What's your name? Jahan, come here. I didn't hear you. I'm so sorry. You didn't get my attention. I'm so sorry. Jahan took it. Now, you say such a silly thing as golf. So you did still the answer. Allahu Akbar. So here I'm on stage, guys. You can get it, all right? Yeah. I'm talking about football, basketball, boxing, hockey, in which you can legally fight, knock someone's teeth out, and then you mentioned to me golf. Golf is a sport of old men. Golf is a sport of rich people. They do it as a social thing. So what's wrong with you, Jahan?
I heard someone else say it. I just wanted to steal it.
So you stole it from somebody else?
Yeah.
All right. So Jahan, he gave me the exact answer that I was looking for. Great job, Jahan. Is that okay? And his sister as well. So, I don't want to talk about football, I don't want to talk about baseball, basketball, boxing, or swimming, or track and field. I want to talk about golf. And golf pertains to what? What's the goal of golf? Hole in one is the ultimate goal, right? What's the general aim of the sport of golf? What do? Do you swim in golf? Do you ride a horse? What's the main idea of it? There is a what? A cup, not a stick. A golf club. And a what? A ball. And then there's a what? Or holes. And you play golf where? In the woods, in the snow, when you ski? What surface do you play golf upon? All right, perfect. There's golf and then there's miniature golf. You have fun playing miniature golf. And miniature golf is oftentimes much more difficult than what it looks like. It's not easy. It takes a great deal of talent and skill, and the key word, dexterity, for you to aim and to spin it around and swivel it around. It's just not this. So what do we know about golf balls?
There's a bunch of dimples in them.
There are a bunch of dimples in them, little dinky thingies. All right, what else? They're small, they're not big. What else? Are they soft? Are they inflated with air? Are they made of rubber? They're hard. If you got hit with a golf ball, it would what? It would hurt a lot. You would have a hickey. You could break someone's window with a golf ball. What else do we have?
They're white.
They're white in most cases. You may find a yellow one or a neon colored one. All right, what else? Anybody?
They're expensive.
They're expensive. Good.
It's round.
It's round. Perfect. It isn't square or oval, etc. So therefore, do we know the history of this sport called golf?
No.
And of the golf ball? There was a time in which golf balls were smooth. They never had dimples or dinks or holes or anything. They were totally round and smooth. They were hard. But people that were serious golfers, they realized, if that's even a word, is that they preferred to use older golf balls. I don't want the new one. I want the older one. I want the one that I've had for 6 months or a year or 6 years. This is my lucky golf club and my lucky golf club tote. And this is my lucky golf ball. But it's scratched. It has a dent in it. It's chipped. It isn't perfectly symmetrical, etc. I know. I didn't ask you for your opinion. Please get away. I'm about to let go and see how far it will go. So these people who play golf and took it seriously, they noticed that the older the ball and the more beat up the ball was, the faster, the further the ball went. And in 1905, it wasn't an American, but an Englishman, whose name was, if my memory serves me correctly, Edward Taylor. He was an engineer and an inventor, and he added the golf ball with 336 dimples. If you want to count, 336. And he proved by science that these dimples may look like a flaw or something wrong with the ball, but in actuality they create turbulence. They go against the smoothness of the ball, and it causes further. And obviously, the closer the ball is from the initial strike, or is what? It's easier for me to do what? Let alone a hole in one. So they figured out that the ball that looks a little dinky or dented or beat up, in actuality goes further. It's better than the ball smooth and pretty and perfect and untouched. Got the point yet or not? We sure we got the point? While I'm standing in front of you wasting your time talking about sports, and what I'm supposed to be talking about, Jahannam, trials, tribulations, i.e. me, I, forget you guys, myself, I am that golf ball. You are, or you're supposed to be, that golf ball. The trials that you go through in life aren't meant to weaken you. Your life isn't supposed to be perfect. And if you're unscathed, not a scratch or a cut or a nick or a dink, you aren't in the game. And the more tribulations that you go through, but tribulations don't crack, they don't break you, they don't shatter you, but at worst they just let a scar or a dink. I can go further in the deen and in the dunya. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us about this way of thinking. That the test is nothing more than a test. It's nothing more than something temporary. It's an obstacle that you aren't supposed to succumb to and bow. You're supposed to hurdle over it. That's what it's there for. Track and field, huh? Track and field. Hurdle over this obstacle. Allah the Exalted asks the questions. Speaking to the Prophet ﷺ and his companions. Do you believe that you're just going to go to paradise? You're going to enter paradise? That nothing is going to happen to you? And you didn't go through what those who came before you went through. Are you that naive? Are you that foolish? Are you that immature? Do you think that you have a free ticket into Jannah and you haven't been tested like those who came before you were tested? As if someone asked Allah, "Oh Allah, how were they tested? What happened to the previous nations, the followers of Musa and Isa? What happened to Ibrahim and Ismail and Ishaq? What happened to them? What did they go through? Did they lose their lives? Were they tortured?" Allah the Almighty Exalted says, "Massatuhumul ba'sa'u wad-dharra wa zulzilu." They were touched by adversity, by hardship, by difficulty, by hard times, by harshness, and they were shaken terribly. And they were shaken so much, and these trials touched them and stuck to them so much that the messenger and those with the messenger, his companions, his followers, his disciples, they asked the question, when will the help come? Until when will I go through this? Until when will I be stuck in this situation? Until when, Ya Rabb? Ala inna nasr Allahi qareeb. Indeed, Allah's help is right there. The highlighting point from the verse, Allah Azza wa Jalla says, Massathum, is that they were touched. All the fitna did. The fitna didn't break their skin. It didn't penetrate, it didn't crack their bones. It didn't remove their limbs, but it did what? It touched them. So the fitna touching you, a trial touching you and not breaking you, and not shattering you. And you may have a scratch or a scar or a dimple after you were hit by that club. Inshallah, in life, it isn't to slow you down. It doesn't mean that you are being punished by Allah. It doesn't mean that Allah doesn't love you. It doesn't mean that I have no value in life. I should take my life. I should stop practicing. I should give and quit. Like most of us think and feel. But instead, that test, that trial that's only touching you is meant to make you propel faster and further. However, most of us have sight at best. And most of us lack perception. And if we do have the perception, it's the wrong perception. How you look at life. What is a means of honor and what is a means of humiliation? I myself asked this question countless times. How do I know Allah is testing me versus Allah punishing me? How do I know is Allah punishing me or is Allah testing me? Wallahi, if I had $1 for every time I was asked this question, my answer then and now is the same answer. You don't know. You can't know. And that is because we don't have a manual or a handbook. We don't have exclusive knowledge. We aren't privy to Allah's secrets. We don't have the ability to understand and to know. We don't know what Allah does and says and why. We don't know these things. We're slaves. We're humans. Our capacities of thought and perception are limited. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala could be testing you here and he'll be punishing you. But it doesn't matter. If Allah is punishing me, inshallah it's good for me. And if Allah's only testing me to make me more grateful, more appreciative, to wake me up, to shake up, or for me to go even further, then it's so good for me. The Prophet ﷺ in the hadith that you all know, he sums up this whole entire understanding, sight versus perception. Ajaban li amril mu'min. The believer, his affair, his life, his career, his college education, his marriage, his health, his finances, his country and occupation and war and struggle and resistance is always mind-boggling. It's amazing. It's ajib. It's marvelous. It provokes deep thought, and oftentimes it can't be grasped. Sometimes it's too heavy, it's too deep. How is this? We see Muslims who lose their lives. We see Muslims who lose wealth. We see Muslims who have poor health. We see Muslims who live in abject poverty. We see Muslims who break up, who get divorced. We see Muslims who fail tests. Muslims lose games. Muslims are better, etc. What was that? The Prophet ﷺ said, "Inna amrahu kullahu lahu khayrun." The reason why the affair of the believer is so marvelous, so amazing, so mind-boggling, is that he never ever loses. The believer is always a winner. I don't understand these words. How the believer always a winner? I've just witnessed Muslims losing their lives. I just witnessed Muslims' countries being destroyed and wrecked. I've just witnessed Muslims losing the battle, being taken prisoner. I've just witnessed Muslims losing the vote. The Prophet ﷺ, he says, "In asabatu khayrun shakara, fa khayrun lahu. When asabatu darra'u sabara, fa khayrun lahu." When good befalls the believer, a victory. I have a child, I'm married, I have a husband, I have wealth. Allah made me handsome, strong, smart. I have children, I have success in the world. It's good for me. And it is a means of me being thankful. It's not for my smarts, how many books I read, how many weights I pumped or squats I did. It's not my lineage or my race or my clan or my tribe or where I come from. No. But it's only from Allah. And Allah only used me as an instrument and as a pawn to give me the blessing that He made, ordained for me and created years before the creation of the heavens and the earth. If you only but knew. And if some adversity falls the mu'min, I lost my leg, I was driving at night, I don't drink alcohol. Alcohol's haram. I don't see how people can drink wine and beer. The stuff stinks. It smells disgusting, let alone taste disgusting. How can you drink that stuff? I'm driving, minding my business. I'm wearing a seatbelt. I stopped at the stop sign. I yielded at the yield sign. This person had the right of way, and then someone clipped into me. A drunk driver, some teenage kids, college kids, having fun, coming from a party. They ran into my car and I lost my leg. I'll never be able to play football or basketball again. I'll never be able to run with my children or grandchildren again, etc. What did I do? How is that good? Me losing my life, how is that good? Sabara, fakana khayrun lahu. The Prophet ﷺ says, he's patient. Alhamdulillah, all praises for Allah. I lost my leg, but I'm still living. I'm still breathing. There's some people who lose 2 legs. There's some people who lose everything. There's always someone who's worse. There's always someone who's been tested and they're more righteous than I am. So let me be patient and let me make the best out of this situation. Let me translate and convert this outward affliction into some type of positivity and that is good for the believer. As far as the non-believer, then it is he who curses, who questions, who doubts. When good is his way, he's prideful. He thinks that it's from him. As the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam told us about the three men, the three Hebrews, the three Israelites. One of them was a leper, one of them was bald, and one of them was blind. Right? So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He wanted to test these servants. As He tells us in verses in the Quran, وَبَلَوْنَاهُمْ بِالْحَسَنَاتِ وَالسَّيِّئَاتِ. And we test them with good and with bad. وَنَبْلُوكُمْ بِالشَّرِّ وَالْخَيْرِ فِتْنَةً. And we test you with bad and with good. Allah Azza wa Jalla, He tells us, وَلَقَدْ أَخَذْنَا آلَ فِرْعَوْنَ بِالسِّنِينَ وَنَقْصٍ مِّنَ الثَّمَرَاتِ لَعَلَّهُمْ يَذَّكَّرُونَ. Indeed, Pharaoh, his court, his followers, we afflicted them with years of drought, years of famine, the harvest, it didn't provide, it didn't yield what it was supposed to, in order for them to remember and to reflect. So, the Prophet ﷺ, he tells us, is that these three men, one was a leper, one was a bald man, and one was a blind man. Not too many of you know about lepers and leprosy, unless you've read it in a book. But there was a time leprosy was a major scourge of humanity, major. And lepers were treated with the utmost disrespect and humiliation in an ignominious way you can think of. No one wanted to be next to a leper. No one to touch a leper. They were cursed by God. They were to live on islands and communities by themselves, to die and to fester and to rot. Fingers and hands and skin to just rot. You're a leper. That's your sorry luck in life, not mine. No one wanted to be a leper. And being touched by a leper was the ultimate catastrophe. And as far as a man being bald, hair transplants, scalp treatment, I'm going to go to Turkey or Rio de Janeiro to get my hair back. What's wrong with having bald hair, or a bald head, or my hairline is receding? What's the problem? Baldness is a major means of insecurity within a man. Not only does it look funny, I used to have nice hair, used to blow in the wind. This is my shampoo commercial. But baldness, it represents weakness. And it represents lack of virility. You know what this word is, virility? When a man lacks virility, he's a weakling. His physical body doesn't function the same way. And if my is malfunctioning, that's going to have a hammer blow on my what? My psyche, my confidence, my self-esteem. I'm not even the man that I used to be. So who wants to be bald? No one wants to be bald. That's why I'm this hat. That's why I have this toupee. That's why I pay all of this money to get my hair fixed. And last but not least was the blind man. How scary is it if you can't see? What's one of the greatest fears as a child? You're scared of the what? The dark. Because you can't what? You can't see. You ever been trapped somewhere which you can't see? It's that dark. You're driving at nighttime, it's snowing, it's raining, you put in the defrost, and you can barely what? It's scary, it's extremely scary. Darkness, you don't have the ability to use your eyes. So just imagine you being in that state of darkness 24/7. You can't see where you're going. People can mislead you. People can trick you. Let alone people making fun of you, talking about you, tripping you, kids throwing rocks at you. It's a thing. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He wanted to test these three men. So He sent to them an angel, not with 600 wings, but an angel form and in the fashion of a man. So He went to the first man. He asked him what was wrong. What do you want? What would you like in life? He said, give me good skin. Allow me to have good skin, a good complexion, a good tone. And allow this filthy, nasty leprosy to be taken away from me. Because the people, they make fun of me. They humiliate me. They mock me. So the man, what did he do? He touched the man. His leprosy was taken away. He asked him, what type of wealth would you like? What's your favorite type of money? And he told the man. The bald man, same thing. He touched him. His hair was replaced. And then he went to the blind man. And he says, what do you want? What would you like? And he said, I would like my eyesight to be returned to me, not for the people to stop making fun of me and laughing at me, but I would like to see the people. Sight versus perception. They were worried about others. He was worried about seeing a lost creation. So the man's eyesight was returned to him. What type of wealth is your favorite wealth? Do you like a cow and a ranch of cows? Do you like camels, sheep? What type of wealth would you like to have as your investment? So he tells us, فَأَرَادَ اللَّهُ أَنْ يَبْتَلِيَهُمْ. And Allah wanted to test each and every one of these three men out. So another man returned to them. The man was a beggar, a pauper. He was old. He was shabby and scruffy. And he says, رَجُلٌ مِسْكِينٌ انقطعت بي السبل. Poor. Can you help me out? Can you spare some change? Can you give me a sadaqah? I'm lost. I lost my animal. I need to get back to my tribe. Can you help me out? What did the first man say? I can't help you out. I'm sorry. الحقوق كثيرة. I have many responsibilities. I have many bills. I can't help you. And then he said to him, كأني أعرفك. He says, now, don't I know you? Have we met before? Someone see you in the airport or the gas station? No, we've never met. No, we have met before. Weren't you ugly and nasty? Weren't you a leper? It's falling off. Wasn't your skin peeling off? Didn't the people discard you? And the leper, the man who used to be a leper, he says, I don't know what you're talking about. He said, weren't you poor and dirty? He said, no, this wealth, إِنَّمَا وَرِثْتُهُ كَابِرًا عَنْ كَابِرٍ. He says, this money came from my family. I was born into money. And then the man to him, Allahumma, he says, oh Allah, I ask Allah, sayyaraka Allahu ila ma kunta. In kunta kadhiban, fa sayyaraka Allahu ila ma kunta. If you're lying, then may Allah turn you back to what you used to be. And then he went to the man, the bald man, and he asked for a little bit of charity. He has a whole farm full of animals. And he says, I can't give you not even one. And he says, weren't you poor? Weren't you old and bald? Didn't people make fun of you? No women looked your way? No one would give you position and status, an old bald man. He says, I don't know what you're talking about. This is my money. I inherited this wealth. I worked for this wealth. It came from my family. And he made dua against him. May Allah lead you to what you used to be if you're lying. And then he went to the third man, the blind man. And he asked him for one animal. And the blind man said, take whatever you want to take. It's Allah's wealth. It's not my wealth. I can relate to being poor and needy. And then the man, he said, Allah's pleased with you. وَسَخِطَ عَلَى صَاحِبَيْكِ. And he is displeased with the other two men. All it was a test. To keep my good skin, to keep my camels, to keep my cows and bulls, all I had to do was give up one animal. But greed, stinginess, being short-sighted, narrow-minded, lacking the proper vision and sight, not having the proper perception, not knowing that having one animal taken away from me, this small dent or would take me further. And this is why we get caught up and stuck in this glue trap of depression and avoiding away on our devices and our beds and sofas, and why I'm thinking about suicide, and why I've attempted suicide several times. I have wrist marks. They had to pump my stomach at the hospital because of the pills that I took because my life is worthless. Why? What happened to you? The girlfriend broke up with me. The brother, he doesn't want to marry me anymore. Or even worse than that, I mean, hopefully you guys won't laugh, TikTok is banned. I'm depressed. My life has no meaning because I didn't get a perfect score. And because. So the first thing that we have to do, last thing I want to say, is that we have to change the way we look at things. That's the whole purpose of the dimples in the golf ball. It's not a bad thing, but it's a good thing when Allah tests you.